Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer, and we're back at 7 Ages. I had a break for about, I don't know, maybe a week or so, maybe 10 days. I played Cuba Libre, and now I'm really eager to come back to this actually. There are a few decisions to make. We're now getting into the Middle Ages here, and we see all these Dark Ages. And because my house rule says that you only get half the points, half your glory points rounded up in the Dark Ages. So that means that for some empires, instead of trading through these tough times, it might be actually a better idea to simply get discarded and then play some other empire and catch up in the progress track on the most progressed empire, which might be then in the Renaissance. Especially for these lower progressed empires, it could be a very good idea to make that to simply make that jump over the Middle Ages by getting discarded and then play a new card. So you might not suffer this victory point loss here. I think especially for these lower technological ones and the ones with little points. So there are now the Irish, for example. That's something I'm really thinking about. The Irish, they will right now they only gain about 2 points for Britain and for their home country. Of course, there is a lot of options. They could gain more points for being a big Christian empire. But we gotta ask ourselves if this might really happen. The Romans, the Minoans, the Egypt, and the Celts, they're all Christian. Okay, the Minoans probably won't be that big. The Egypt have an amazingly strong army. That one here. So it's going to be very, very hard to get bigger than the Egypt. They also control these fertile areas here. And there's a real vacuum because all these ancient civilizations, the Sumerians, the Assyrians, the Phoenicians, they all vanished, mostly because of the Huns. So there is now this big vacuum in Mesopotamia where that the Egypts could fill. And that's going to make it very hard for the Irish to become, well, definitely biggest in the biggest Christian empire. Then there are the Romans, which are also a very powerful empire, and so are the Celts. So maybe they might be able to get bigger than one of these two empires, but even that is probably going to be hard. So I guess in the end it doesn't make much sense to hold on to the Irish. Maybe until they come to the start of the Middle Ages here for a few more turns, 2 turns or so. I mean, they're right now here. But then I'm really thinking about discarding then and instead starting someone else. I wonder who we could start. Does he have anything interesting? Yeah, the Koreans, for example. I mean, they are just cool. Maybe he should start them right away. This is a very strong empire with more options, I think. In addition, another problem, a similar problem actually, were the Minoans. The Minoans are now somewhere here in the middle of the Dark Ages. And they don't generate many points right now. They generate a point for their home country. They want to be big in the sea spaces. Well, they only control 2 of these spaces. And the Polynesians also controls 2. The Irish also control 2. So that means because they are now last in turn order, they won't get any points for that. The fleet, the size of the fleet is 3. I think there is nothing here underneath. No, just a spear. So the Polynesians also have 3, and yeah, I'm not sure about the Irish actually. I think they don't have 3. I think they only have 2. Yeah. Still, I mean, you get the point. It's going to be pretty hard for them to generate more than maybe 2 points right now. So I also wonder if I really should hold on to them. I'm absolutely not sure about that. This is maybe the hardest decision to make, because I'm also thinking, hey, I mean, they have a perspective. They managed to go here to Asia Minor, maybe to the Western Mediterranean. They have a good income. It is hard to decide, actually. But for some reason, I don't know. I still don't know what to do with these guys. Well, okay, let's do the planning of the next turn. Okay, so yellow is the first player, and let's see if we start an empire, and that will happen. Pink will start, or red will start an empire, and this is then the 15th empire, and therefore the last empire that can be started in this game. Well, or not the last one. If another one is discarded, of course we can start a new one, but it is not possible for a player to control more than 3 empires. Therefore, we have our full number now. And the Incas, they were gonna enter play. And they will show up in Peru. And this is right here. So that means a lot of trouble for the Chavin Mochica, controlled by the pink player. Okay, so let's see, they start with setup -5, $15. Special, treat all mountains as fertile during urbanization. And they gain points for their homeland, for being big in America, and for having the most cities. Fine. Okay, So this is going to be a pretty bad time now for the Chavin. They are technologically behind, and there's only one guy there guarding this capital. So we're going to see 12, 16, 26, no, that's not true, 12, 14, 24 against 1. Okay, I mean against 2, and we should not forget the defense modifier of 3 in the mountains. So that means, well, actually I forgot, here in the city this defense modifier doesn't count anymore because I have now these catapults. And if you have the catapults, the defense modifier of cities or forts doesn't apply. So what we see is he's got a 4 and I've got a 24. Is that so? Yep. So the attacker draws first, and let's see if maybe we got a great card, but I don't think so actually. There would be these guys. No, they don't. Well, what is that charge? Immediately both sides have committed double the frontline values. Well, that's not worth it. Okay. So the attacker comes with a 3. So that would be 27 then. A second, huh? 12, yeah. Exactly. While the defender also has a 3. So that is a 7. So the difference is still 20. Half of that is 10, so that means the attacker can keep all his units. The capital of the Jews, of course, destroyed. As is the whole civilization, the Chavin Mochika, of course, not the Jew, the Chavins. So that goes away, and instead the capital... Oh no, I'm wrong, sorry. The civilization is not destroyed, it's just the capital. But the chances are, of course, very, very bad for the Chavin to come back here. They still control the area, there is no doubt here, but without their capital, if they want to produce, they only get half their income, but they still have to pay their maintenance cost. So there is only little hope for them right now. But of course, for now, it stays in play, and they've chosen a civilized action for this turn. Okay, so that was the start empire phase, and then we come to the production phase. And let's see who does a production action. The Satavahana in India. They are in a pretty comfortable position actually. No direct competition here, so they could kind of peacefully expand and grow and see what happens. So they had an amazing income because they control these 2 areas with wheat, and then they have this value 3 city here. So that was pretty impressive. They had an income of 15 after paying maintenance. And that allowed them to gained some pretty amazing units. They are also technological, quite advanced. They are here. So that enables them to buy the swordsman. And now let's see. I can place one guy here, another one here, maybe one here, and then we're going to place 2 here. We can place up to 3 new units here, simply because of that city. Well, I think I'm going to place them all here, all these 3 units. Okay. So that was the production action of the Satavahana. And then we're going to see a production of the Plains Americans right up here. And they will also have a decent income because of that wheat here. They don't have to pay any maintenance because it's a barbarian civilization. So let's see, they have an income of, well, that would be 5 and 6, it's 11, that's 13, but they only gain half. It's not that great, it's 7. So they are at 8 then, and these guys are down here. Okay, they are at 8. Oh, let's see. Actually, I took the wrong money marker. It's the dark gray color, and these guys now have a problem. They're running out of counters. For now, it's just fine. They can afford these 3 units. That's basically all they can afford. Yeah. Because they cannot build any cavalry. Nor ships. As you can see up here, they are pretty limited when it comes to their countermix. So basically what they want to do is they want to get as soon as possible to the ballista and the swordsman, otherwise they could not grow any further. So I guess I got to do a trade over there pretty soon. Might trade with the deck there. Okay, any more? Yeah, here we are. Another production action done by the Melanesians, the ones here in Australia. And they definitely have to grow. They're still in their infancy, basically. But they have a decent income. That's 3, 6, and 2, that's 8. Well, okay, overall it's just an income of 4, because they have to pay, well, they only get the half, again, because of the fact that it's, excuse me, because it's a barbarian civilization. But that's still, because they saved 1, that gives them 5, which is just enough to buy a ship. That's good. So they're gonna buy a galley, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna place that galley here in the Coral Sea. Does that make sense? Yeah, probably. Well, they might also say we buy 2 units, one up there, one up here. Maybe that's the better idea. I think actually this is a better idea. I might buy 2 spear. Yeah, and this way I can expand more easily. And actually I'm not exactly going for dominance on sea spaces, you know. I just want to be big in Australia and in general in the world. It could be on land or on sea. So I don't have to go for the expensive ships right now, but I can try to expand here on New Guinea and Australia itself. Okay, that's the end of the production round now. Are we going to see some trade? Well, actually, I don't believe so. Even though the Minoans are going to go in a dark age, they will not trade because I decided to discard them actually. And the Egypt, they could do a trade to get out of the Dark Age, but on the other hand, they really want to get rid of their disordered spaces here. So that has the priority for them. The other ones in the Dark Age are the Romans, but they also have some other priorities right now. So let's see. We come to the maneuver step now, and here we see the Egyptians. And now, okay, they will move back to Egypt, try to get rid of the disorder here. Okay, so we will need to remove the disorder here. We need a number of units equal to the defense modifier of the space, of the terrain, plus 1. So the defense modifier is 0 here. So basically, we only need 1 unit in this area to remove the disorder, but then we have to add the city's value. So that means overall we need 4 units in this area. In addition, I'm thinking about moving on. On the other hand, it might be cheaper to pay to remove this disorder here. I'm not sure about that actually. Okay, I think what I'm going to do right now is I will move with one of these guys to Mesopotamia. I think that definitely makes sense. Well, maybe not with that one, but I'm not sure. So I moved with the chariot to Mesopotamia because that gives me a big income. And now what did I say I needed? I needed 4 units in there. So I could actually move with another unit, maybe to Cappadocia. I'm gonna do this. I'll move with these guys here. And the rest of the units will move then back to Egypt. Now, but that's not enough. Damn it. I need 5 units, and I only have 4. Okay, so I will not move to Cappadocia, but with all of them to Egypt. Is that true? So, no, 4. 4 is fine, exactly. It was the number of the defense modifier. That would be 0 plus 1 plus the city's value. So that means I need 4 units in there to remove the disorder in Egypt. Okay. So, and that's exactly what I can do now. That is what I can do at the end of the maneuver phase, and it should be written here actually, but sadly it's not. Here, exactly. So, but I can do that now. I can remove the disorder, and that makes things easier. I wonder if I could also do some maneuver here to remove that disorder. But that's much harder. I need 7 units in there because the mountains have a value of 3 plus 1 is 4 plus 3 for the city. So to remove the disorder here I would need 7 units. What about that one? That would be 4. Well, it kind of sucks. Oh, damn it. Okay, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to move with these guys here to Kenya. And then I might do a civilize action or maybe a production action pretty soon, gain a lot of money, and then simply buy, simply remove the disorder by paying $7 per space. Guess that makes the most sense in this case here. We have an enormous income, but of course we also have to pay quite some maintenance. Okay, fine. Okay, and then I want to do another maneuver action with the Siamese actually. So I'm going to use a wild card here, which forces me to lose 1 glory. So, and what I'm going to do now is a pretty nasty action. Basically, I'm simply going to move from here in here and do an attack. What we're going to see now is, well, I'm attacking the Chams, and well, I'm simply going to play that treachery action. Play at the start of conflict resolution. Choose the side that wins. The other side retreats without fighting. Destroyed if retreat is impossible. And that is exactly the point. They cannot move onto a space under their control because they simply don't control any other space. So they will simply lose their whole army and are therefore killed by that single man. And of course, their city is also destroyed. So that was a pretty bad card, real devastating card for the Chams, and they now vanish. from history. Just some short living local culture extinguished by the Siamese. Which have now absolute power here in Southeast Asia. Okay. And then it's the pink player. And he will do a maneuver action with the Romans. So he's going to move here into the Sahara, and that then gives him this elephant unit. And that was actually a plan that he was following for a few turns now, because now with the elephants it would be much easier for them to deal with the Celts. So that might bring him the vital advantage in this case. Then we're going to see additional movement here. They enter the Western Mediterranean here, and therefore block this area for the Minoans. In addition, I guess we're going to move here to the Low Countries. And I think this is it for now. But we can now also remove the disorder here in Rome, because we have 2 units here, and we would need 1 plus 1 for the city. So finally, this disorder here is also gone. And so that definitely helped them to grow a little bit, and makes things harder for the Celts, especially in Europe, also in the competition of the size in Europe. This space here counts also as part of Europe, so we'll see about that. I'm wondering though if I should move here to Cisalpine with the single unit maybe. There might be a danger. I can see that there are 2 units here. I don't know exactly what type of units there are, but if they attack with 1, there could be a risk. I don't want to lose my Great Pyramid here. So I wonder if I think I'm going to take one of these guys and move here, just to avoid losing the city and the artifact here. Okay, and then I'm going to use a wild card, and that costs me a glory point, to do a maneuver action with the Zimbabweans. Still, I'm pretty sure it is worth this, because I want to be biggest in Africa. That would give me 2 glory points. Right now I only control 1 area, but this will change really soon if I spread out now. And in that way, I might be actually become number 1 in area in Africa. I hope so, at least. So I guess that could be worth it then. Let's see. So I guess I want to move with 1 guy here. Tanzania. Zanga. Well, that takes a movement. This is jungle, so I need a movement cost of 2 there. So maybe I'm gonna move there with 2 people. Zululand. That's only a movement of 1. So I can move down to the Cape. I'm gonna take this guy instead, actually. Wonderful fertile areas here. Yeah, I think fine. And then I'm gonna move here to Angola. Or better to Mozambique, maybe. Yeah, I think I'm gonna move to Mozambique. And I think I will move with this guy to Angola instead of with 2 people to Zanga. Yeah, that's cool. So now I control basically the heart and the south of Africa. And I'm pretty big just with 1 turn. So that's pretty awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, that's just amazing. No doubt about that. I'm easily number 1 in Africa. So this leads now to a very strange situation, actually. Egypt is really in trouble, and I'm actually thinking about discarding them in the near future. Simply because, you know, the problem is with Egypt, they're basically absolutely powerful. I mean, if you look at this, it's impressive. They have a big army, possibly the biggest army, or at least one of the biggest armies out there. They have great cities. If they manage to get rid of the disorder, which shouldn't be too hard, they will generate a lot of income. But the problem is, they don't get too many points for that. So they will only get 1 point for Africa if they're biggest there. And that's going to be really hard, because this whole area here, the desert, doesn't count during harvest glory. So they got to go down here and start fighting the Zimbabweans and all that, which is not that great, because their power goes more here into the Middle East and not so much into South Africa, you know. So I think they're not going to be number 1 in Africa. I think they won't manage to get there. They only gain 2 points for being number 1 in the world. So if they're not among the 2 biggest nations in the world, they won't get a point for that. And this is going to be very, very hard for them, because there are the Jew, which are really big. There are the Romans, also extremely big. So I really don't think they can make it. I'm not sure yet. I mean, they are now also here in this dark age. So they have to push through all of these dark ages. I really have my doubts that, well, we'll see about that. We also have to find some alternatives. And right now this player doesn't have... well, you could play the Chimu, but they will show up in Ecuador, and there are already these guys, so this is probably not the best idea. You see, tough decisions to make during these dark ages. This is really the time when some weaker civilizations, not even weaker ones, but the not so glorious civilizations, they just disappear, you know, they just vanish somehow in the fog of history, even though they might have a big empire. But what does it matter, you know, if you don't get the points for that? Maybe they get a few points out of these artifacts. We're going to see that later on. Okay, we see a maneuver action by the Celts. And they are impressive. I mean, there is no doubt about that. Their size is just impressive. So, let's see. They're going to move into the Caucasus, I guess. Yeah, why not? And Moldova. Maybe here with these guys. Right there. I must remember that I already moved one here. And yeah, with that guy to Poland. I'm really thinking about attacking Caesar in the Alps. The problem is, if I stay there for too long, I probably won't stand a chance, because then the Romans can start to produce the elephants. I can see that they have them now. And they can produce their swordsmen, which gives them an additional advantage. So sadly, I don't know what is underneath this guy, and I've forgotten that during the last weeks. This area is fortified because of the Great Wall, so this is going to be really a tough call. Let's see what I got there. It's not impressive at all. How many units has Caesar? Not too many. Doesn't make any sense. I can take one of these guys though. Okay, then we got 4, 6. Well, we have a bit of support here. And we have a tactician, Boudica. But on the other hand, Caesar is also a tactician. Oh boy, that's a tough call. But if I don't do it now, I probably won't do it in the future. Yeah, okay, I say let's go for it. So we're gonna attack Caesar here with Boudica. Boadicea, yeah, that's the name, Boadicea. And let's see what we got here. It's not that great, but it's also not that bad. And the Celts gain points for... it kind of sucks, you know. Well, okay, let's throw them in. It's sad that we have to place them in the front row. That's really bad. but I'm afraid I have to. Or is there another way, something else I can do? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I have to leave this guy in Austria. So that's definitely a waste, but okay. And then let's see what Caesar has to offer. This is going to be interesting now. I hope he's not too strong yet. That would be some really bad news for the Celts. Oh gosh. That's interesting, because he also has the problem that he has to put someone in the support area, which is usually better, and it's going to be that's going to be a close call. Okay, so the area is fortified because of the Great Wall, and it gives a +3 bonus, and they have to cross a river, which gives another +1 defensive modifier. So that gives them 6 additional points. That's the big problem. So let's see, we have 8 here and 6. So that's exactly 20. And they attack with, well, that's 8 and 5. That's 13. They only attack with 17. So they really got to be lucky here. If Caesar wouldn't have been a tactician too, then things would be different, but I think I will not win that. Okay, so I'm attacking with 17, while the others defend with 20. So attacker draws first. That's a good one. That's a good start. Now let's see what Caesar draws. Okay, he holds on to that card. That's a good card. He could draw a second one, but he thinks he's gonna win that. So now let's calculate this whole thing again. I just want to be sure that I don't make any mistakes here. So this is 8. And that's 9. So that brings it up to 17. Plus 6 is 23. So this guy comes with 8 plus 6. That's 14. Plus 6. What? Is that so? Damn it. Actually, these guys get +1 if they're in the front row, I think. Pretty sure about that. The Romans. +1 to swords, frontline value. Yeah. Okay, so that gives them 5, 9, and 6. That's 15 then. And then 6 here, so that's 21. That's 26. So they win 26 against 21. Difference is 5 points, so they can at least keep 3 units. That's quite a bit. So they're gonna keep, I guess, these 3. Maybe better yeah, they're gonna keep these 3 units here. And Boadicea is killed. Damn, I made an additional mistake. All cavalry units in mountains -1. It makes it even harder. Oh gosh. So I have to recalculate that. Maybe Caesar can even keep more units in this case. Okay, I'm pretty sure in the end it didn't make a difference because the Romans also had 2 cavalry units. So I think they only had an additional point on their side, which doesn't make a difference then. I hope I'm right there, but I think it's basically fine. Okay. So that was definitely a kind of a blowback for the Celts. But on the other hand, I think it was worth a try. I mean, of course, the Romans could now enter the Celtic Empire and start making some trouble there. But on the other hand, the Celts have such a big income. I think it doesn't really... It's not that terribly bad. Maybe a little. Maybe it costs them on the long term a victory point. Maybe that was the decision who will have the dominance in Europe, the Romans or the Celts. So they might lose that victory points here if they lost this army now. But on the other hand, they kind of were stuck here. Nobody really had an advantage simply by sitting here in this area. And, well, I think it's not that bad. On the other hand, you never know. So these were the Irish. And that was, the Chew. Yeah, they're also going to do a maneuver action. And they have a big army up here. So they want to spread out even more in China and simply grow bigger more or less everywhere. I mean, they are just so amazingly strong. So I think I'm going to move with a few guys here to Kalka. And let me see. How do I want to do that? I gotta do this in a clever way here. If I move with one guy here, I can move with the other guy here. Okay. And then, let me see. If I move with one guy here, I can move with that guy, damn it, right there. And that allows me then to move with this guy here, and in that way I can move with this horse 2 spaces here to Haman, which is fertile. So that's kind of cool. Okay, neat. And in addition, let me see, I want to move, I guess, with this guy here, these 2 spaces, and then I can move with this guy here to Formosa. Okay, what else? What about these guys? Well, I guess I'm going to move here with him and with them to Turkestan. Okay, so that's impressive, you know. I mean, I now control whole China and in addition some other areas in Asia. This is just an extremely impressive and big empire. The interesting point is that I only get 3 points or 4 points for that anyway, because I only get 1 point for being the biggest in the world. But still, I mean, this is definitely worth to hold on to right now. That's just, there is no doubt about that. So that was the maneuver action of the Chu. Next, we're going to see a destiny action from the Polynesians. Okay, they're going to throw away all their cards. And I'm really thinking about although it sounds crazy, I'm really thinking about discarding the Egypt if I get a strong empire that I could start instead of them. So I'm allowed to draw 6 cards. Let's see what we get here. The Qin, well, they're too early. The Goth, well, that could be interesting, but well, they are interesting. They could start somewhere in Europe and gives 1 per land liberated from a more advanced empire of another player. And they would start in the Baltic over here. So they could start really rampaging with their 20 bucks through the Celtic Empire. That's definitely an option. The Celts are weakened right now, so maybe that's the right point to start these guys. But I'm not sure yet. The Medes, well, they are too... This is a too early age. But he doesn't know yet that the Minoans will be discarded. So there will be an option actually to start the Medes or the Qin. But I think it's a pretty bad idea to compete against the Chu in Asia or in China. So I think we're not going to fight them. Although the Qin start with 20 bucks. Okay, what would be the second one? The Australians. Well, they can be played, but they are not terribly strong. The Han, possible. But we also have the same problem here. We have somehow to destroy the Chu. But I mean, it's an option. We could say, okay, we got 2 civilizations. We can start in China, the Han and the Qin. I mean, the Qin only if the Minoans go away. But then we could think about using them both and burning the first one and then trying with the second one to establish a real strong outpost there. You know, just burning the first one to weaken the Chu and then try to do some real damage with the Han. Okay, we can draw a last card here. The Japanese. Well, these guys are awesome. I think this will probably be the ones we'll see next time. Well, we have a lot of options. The Goths making trouble in China, the Japanese. Definitely interesting cards here. Okay, so that was basically the destiny action of the yellow player. No one else does a destiny action. And we're going to see civilize actions. But only one. And that is not very... Well, we're going to see it anyway. By the Chavin, these guys here, this poor empire which just lost their capital. And I wonder what to do here, actually. So first I could play artifacts and events, and sadly we don't have great artifacts and events. What is that? Earthquake? Oh boy. That's an interesting card. The Venetians. I mean, I have to check who might enter the game if this Mochica culture goes away there. And the Venetians are definitely a candidate here. They come in H3. The problem is I have to face Rome then, and I don't see a chance here, so I think they won't show up. So I might actually play that earthquake, put this order in any mountain area and another in each adjacent non-neutral mountain, jungle and forest area. Well, I could do a lot of damage here in the Chu area, I guess, in this Chu empire. But well, obviously I'm gonna not do this because I control them myself. Yeah, it's the pink player who plays this stuff. So, who do I want to slow down then? Well, I definitely can do a lot of damage to the Zimbabweans that way. That would that could nearly break their neck, actually. If I do this, this would be very, very painful for them. On the other hand, you know, I mean, they are that far behind. They are the red player. So I don't know if that makes too much sense. On the other hand, I don't want to attack the Chu. It's going to be hard for me to do some damage to the gray player. He would be the one in front. But I don't see a way to yeah, doesn't make much sense. He's no target. So I guess I'm going to play that earthquake either onto the Romans somewhere, but this is not that effective. So I guess it has to be the poor Zimbabweans, which is sad because I would have loved to see them doing good. It's an interesting civilization, but I think I have to do some damage on them. Honestly, I'm not sure. I could also play it here in Illyria, do a lot of damage here. I think I'm going to roll a die here. So 1 to 3 is going to be Illyria, otherwise it's going to be Mozambique. Yeah. Okay, so it's going to be Illyria in this case. And that places a disorder marker then in Greece, Dacia, Austria, and the Alps. Okay, this is actually interesting. You know, the Celts, well, they say, hey, maybe this isn't so bad. Because this makes now all these provinces here at the border less valuable for the Romans. So, you know, that's also an interesting point here now. But of course, they lose now 3 provinces. It's a problem for the Celts. 4 of their provinces are now in disorder. So that means they don't count if it comes to the Harvest Glory step. And that makes them now also a, well, kind of a pretty weak civilization. And it's interesting now. The green player, I mean, he could now think, hey, do we really want to discard the Irish? Or maybe even hold on to the Irish and thinking about discarding the Celts. It's really a tough decision now. Let's see. I'm not through with that. So we're still doing the civilized action here. And that was the earthquake in Illyria. So what happens next is We could remove a leader, which is not possible because there is none, but we can promote a leader, and there is no reason not to do that right now. So you can control one leader, so well, that's going to be an artist, which doesn't really help because there is no artifact anywhere in the area. But anyway, let's place this guy here. Next, could adopt religion or government, which is not possible. To urbanize. Okay, we can do that. That's at least something. And well, I think I'm gonna flip this one here. Maybe that one. No, I'm gonna. Damn it! I'm gonna flip this one down here. Make it a little harder for these guys to conquer the Andes. On the other hand, you know, the point is if I'm going to do that, and if I will, if I'm going to discard that empire, which is pretty sure going to happen, because I don't stand a chance against the black guys, against the Incas. If I discard that empire, then there is this city left here for the Incas to simply conquer for free. So I'm not going to do that. I'm also going to not spend an urbanized action here. So basically the civilized action was a waste. But I couldn't know that the Incas would appear when I've chosen this action. So in this case, well, okay. And then we come to the discard empire action. And now this is now the interesting step here. The first one who's going to do that could be the Irish. They've chosen this option. Now you can always change a marker or a placed marker into a pass action. So the situation changed a little bit. Now there is disorder everywhere. The Celts have lost this important battle. Boadicea is killed. So let me see how much points the Celts would get for their empire now. They control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 areas here. Okay. Which is a lot. There is no doubt about that. Because they are a barbaric empire, these disorder markers are not so bad because they don't have to pay maintenance for these areas. So, or for their units. So it doesn't really matter. They still control these high value areas here, and that one here, Thracia. So let's see, we said 6, 8 provinces. What about the Romans? Well, they control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But this is here a sea space, and that doesn't count, I guess. Yeah, the Celts only want to be number 1 in Europe on land spaces. So they might still be number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, they are even with the Romans. And because the Romans have Jesus, he's a philosopher, that would make them number 2. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait a minute, I only count 7 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, I was wrong. Not 8 for the Romans, but 7. Well, that means they are still number 1. So I guess I'm going to hold on to them. And I guess I'm going to discard the Irish instead. And then I can start the Koreans in one of my next turns. Or in my next turn. I guess I'm going to do that. So they go away. It's a little sad. But I also made that mistake to let the Celts become Christian. That was stupid because in that way I actually competed against my own people. That was a stupid idea, and I shouldn't have done that. Definitely not. But okay. It's time for them to go, and well, the Koreans are definitely a good alternative here. So the Irish leave 2 cities here, one in Ireland, one in Britain and England, and well, this is all that's left of them. Little sad. Sometimes it's hard to let go of these empires, especially if these are bigger ones and if they've done well, and you know you had plans with them, and then you just throw them away because you don't see no future for them. That's a little sad. And I like them, but okay, I messed up. So they're gone. And then we're going to see another discard empire step, the Minoans. They will also go. For some reason, and I cannot really explain that, I never really... Well, I wonder if I really want to let them go right now yet. I could hold on to these guys for one more turn, but on the other hand, I don't think there is a reason for that. I thought about, because now I can actually play 2 civilizations. I have 2 free slots, more or less. Well, I could hold on for them for one more turn. Yeah, why not? Maybe that gives me an additional point, I guess. So that's something I will actually do. Because I cannot play 2 civilizations in the next turn, so there is no reason for me to discard them right now. Well, maybe I could get that strong counter mix there, the stronger brown one. That could be an option. The Vietnamese, yeah, I mean that sucks anyway. You know, if I want to bring them in here, I'm gonna see trouble here anyway. Damn that. Okay, I see now some problems. If I discard the Minoans, the Vietnamese, they can be only played in H3. So if I discard the Minoans now, I would basically bring the game back to H2. So that means I could not play the Vietnamese anymore. So that would be a really stupid idea to do. And yeah, so I'm going to hold on to the Minoans for a few more turns, I think. Okay. Should have thought about these things earlier on, actually, but okay, now it's too late. That was really stupid. Yeah. Okay, I mean that happens if you make a break of 10 days and then come back. Then it can happen that you do these stupid things. So basically, I've lost now an action with the Minoans here. But okay, I mean, I don't see a real future for them anyway. I think it doesn't matter much. I wonder if I should allow them to do a production action. was such a stupid idea to place that discard marker there. Of course I couldn't do that. Yeah, I think I'm going to allow them to make a production action. Basically, the only reason, or maybe a destiny action. I mean, the only reason why I played a discard action here was to allow them to bring the Vietnamese into the game. But that obviously doesn't work, because at the moment when I discard the Minoans, I cannot play the Vietnamese anymore. So what would I, let me see, what was the other option? What could I have done instead? I think I'm going to do a production action instead. Trade and, yeah, what the heck do I know? Oh man. Or maybe a destiny action. I'm going to do a production action, and then maybe, yeah, I think that's what I do now. It also doesn't change the game a lot, so we're going to see. They gain 1, 2, 3, that gives them 9, and that gives them nothing, but they have to pay 4 maintenance, so they gain $5, so they are at 6 then. It has only little influence on the other empires, so I think I can do that. So that's 9, and -4 is 6. So that allows them to build another galley. If I want to do that, well, at least that would give me then the biggest fleet. Okay, well, actually, these guys are not even doing so bad. They built a swordsman here in Carthage. They had $6 because they had saved 1. And then they're going to build here another galley in the central Mediterranean, and that might allow them to attack the Roman Sea in the western Mediterranean in the next turn. So hey, maybe that's kind of cool to still have them in the game here. Why not? And you know, that's the good thing. If you play these things, you can kind of cheat a little bit. If you play this in a multiplayer, not in a real solo against an AI, if you cheat there, you have a really bad conscience, because you know then you can either win or lose. But if you play this in a multiplayer game, you can say, okay, you know, let's give them a little advantage here. I mean, I would have done that in a nice in my gaming group too, you know, if someone makes a completely crappy choice and afterwards realizes, oh God, what a bad idea was that, then I'm pretty sure we would have said, okay, come on, change that, it's okay. So, yeah, this is basically it then. We are done with the discard empire phase. So we've seen an interesting, and very interesting round, I think, and I really enjoy it being back in this game. It is just fantastic. So the Incas appeared right here. The Irish went away. The Zimbabweans expanded so much. The Celts are in deep trouble here, and there was this big battle. The Chu are amazingly big. Here, well, so many things happened this time. It was really interesting. So let's see. The Egyptians, well, they are in a dark age here. Well, first we got to move the progress marker, actually. So that means the Minoans also enter a dark age. The Egyptians will not move ahead. These suckers here all enter a dark age now. They go here. They go here. Oh, by the way, these are the Irish. They are gone. They move here. And these guys move here. Oh, gosh. So there might be more decisions that has to be made about these guys here in that dark age, but we're gonna see. The Egyptians. Okay, how much points do they generate? 1 for their home country. What about Africa? No chance here. The disordered areas don't count. So what about the world? Well, I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the Red Sea, 8. Okay. Well, the Jews are definitely number 1. Now let's see. What about the Romans? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, that doesn't count, but the others. So it's a 9. So, well, that's at least close. Interesting. Okay, so maybe that gives them at least a little motivation to go on. So they are number 3 in the world, but this is not good enough. They got to be at least number 2 to get a point there. And what about the artifacts? Well, okay, they got Christianity, this is 1, the oracle and the lighthouse. So they got 3 artifacts. The Romans also got 3 artifacts, the Great Wall, the Pyramid, and also Christianity. But they got Jesus, which is the tiebreaker here. So that means they are only 2nd when it comes to the artifacts. But at least that gives them an additional point, which is worth nothing because all their points are halved. So right now the Egyptians only generate 1 glory point, and that is really poor. The Polynesians. Okay. So they control 2 areas, 2 sea spaces. And the Minoans also control 2 sea spaces, but because the Polynesians are first in turn order, that means they are number 1 in the world, so that gives them 3 points. This is amazing. And then they also have possibly the biggest fleet. These are 3. The 2 also have 3. No, here they have 4. The Minoans have 4. So the Minoans have the biggest fleet, but they have the 2nd biggest fleet. So they generate 4 points. This is absolutely amazing for such a small empire. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the Polynesians are definitely one of the most glorious empires during this turn, which is really cool, I think. The Siamese, well, that's 1 for their home country, 1 for Southeast Asia. And what about their money? Well, that's not so great. So that is 2 for them. But wait a second. What about these dark ages here? Who is every... The Siamese, no, they're not in a dark age. Where are they? Ah, here they go. Okay, fine. So that's 2 for them. So overall, yellow was doing quite well, although the Egyptians are doing that bad right now. The Romans, okay, their home country, they're also in a dark age. Their home country, and they're not number one in Europe, are they? Well, for them, they can actually count sea spaces. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so the Celts also have 8. So do the Romans. The Romans have Jesus, so this is the tiebreaker. So the Romans gain number 1 are number 1 in Europe when it comes to sea and land areas. And that is good enough for them to gain 3 victory points. Then they gain 2 victory points for the artifacts. And yeah, and that's it. But that is pretty amazing. These are 6 glory points. That's just great. They are in a dark age, but it still gives them 3 glory points. So I'm pretty sure this is a civilization we're going to hold on to, and we're going to try to push them somehow through this dark age. The Zimbabweans. 1 for their homeland, 2 for Africa. So 3 for the Zimbabweans. 1, 2, 3. And the Incas, well, that's only 1 for their home area. 4. But still, I mean, the red player really had a good turn now, especially because of the Romans. Now they're getting really... You know, it took them a little while to become stronger and stronger, but now this thing is rocking. The Celts. Okay, the Celts, they are not yet in a dark age. And because for them, only the land areas count in the competition. That means they have more land areas than the Romans, so that means they're also number 1 in Europe, and that gives them 3 victory points. And the Satavahana, well, that's 1 victory point for India and another one for their homeland. So we got 2 victory points for them. They're still a little ahead of red, but this is going to be close. The grey player, still in the lead, at least for now. Plains Americans, well, 1 for the home country and 1 for the Americas, so that's 2. Not a great empire here. The Minoans, okay, let's see. 1 for their home country and 2 for the biggest fleet. Well, that's not so bad. And in addition, they are now second if it comes to the sea spaces they control. So that's another point. So it definitely paid off to hold on to these guys. They give 4 points, and even though they're in a dark age, it's still 2 points for them. So I think they will make it through the Middle Ages, and we will see the Minoans, well, in the early modern times, maybe. Could be fun. The Chu. Well, obviously the Chu are absolutely amazing. They are the dominating empire if it comes to number of space in the world. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think 16, maybe 17, I'm not sure. But it's definitely amazing, and that gives them 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. The Chavin, yeah, they're in trouble. they're definitely in trouble. They don't control their homeland anymore, and that means they lose a glory point for that. So that sucks. They are still number one in South America. There is no doubt about that. They have the majority still there, and that gives them a glory point. So overall, they're even. And the Melanesians, well, they control their homeland and they're number one in Australia. So 2 points for them. Okay. So it's interesting to see the closing. This is getting closer again. The advantage of the grey player is molten nearly completely. But I mean, all the players kind of played against him. And that's what I like about this game. You know, if you are an advantage, the others can really do something against you, not only in a direct conflict, but also with all these cards and so on. So it's really hard to get away here. Okay, so I think we've seen a great turn. It was really interesting. I'm enjoying this game a lot, and hope to see you in my next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Until then, bye.